Yes. All right. We locked in. Locked in everywhere. Yeah. GCPR. Greetings. Salutations. YouTube. Greetings. Salutations. Tickety talk. Yeah. Welcome. What's up? What's up? Well, y'all know what time it is. It is 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. I am TNathan, and you're tuned in to Conversations with TNathan. What's up? Reese is here already. Yeah. I don't know. What time was it in California? 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock? I know y'all old people go to bed early. And, or, I know y'all old people go to bed early. Or have to go sneak into other people's lives. Drama. But while you're here, welcome. Welcome. Conversations with T. Nathan. Where we talk about issues and answers that don't involve who's sleeping with who. How y'all doing tonight? Hope everyone is well. Hope everybody is well. Hope you got your random act of kindness in today. Hope you told somebody you love them. And I hope somebody not only told you they loved you, but showed you. Because some of y'all need hugs. Some of you all need hugs. Some of y'all in my comment section need hugs. I've never met so many people that are politically so unaware of the country they claim they grew up in. It amazes me. It amazes me. And then they're the first people to call somebody else ignorant. I'm like, make it make sense. Yeah. You've grown up in a country that's had presidents your entire life, had Congress your entire life, and had schoolhouse rock. And it just amazes me how you all function without knowing how the government that you all are always talking about discrimination functions. Greetings, salutations. Well, on that note, y'all, I guess you can tell what we're gonna be doing tonight. So let's go and get this theme song out the way that my brother Jay wrote for me. Yeah, let's get it.
America's inherent racism is blatant, woven in the fabric in its constitution. It covers like a blanket. The hate they hear, Black Lives Matter. Mad they crime statistics ain't supported by the data. 43 alphas, the table for the crime. Commit the same crime but don't get the same time. It's disproportionate. A bunch of racist officers. Trial played out in front of an all-white audience. Black kids is thugs, white kids is mental health, but the justice is blind. Why the skin color changes, they dehumanize us, brutalize us. A simple traffic stop can end you in some handcuffs. I'm here for the fight. My brother is the harbinger. Stand side by side and scream, fuck you, Your Honor. Project 2025, dismantle civil rights. Erase everything from history if it isn't white. Two versions of America. Which one you fighting in? These MAGA trash think the South is gonna rise again. White Christian nationalism is terror intensified. The government won't do nothing even though it's identified. Extreme law and order, but then voted a felon in. But if felons can't vote, how do one become the president? They love the Constitution, but the truth is embarrassing. They push the Constitution aside for the white establishment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. It's called American Madness. And that is my new introduction song for Conversations with T. Nathan, written by none other than Jay. I want to say his whole government name. I'm gonna call it Dr. P. I'm going to say his whole government name because you all know. Well, like I said, how y'all doing? Welcome to the show where we have a conversation. I'm the conversation and I answer questions that are based in logic with logical answers. And I answer questions based in feelings with probably talking about your feelings. Yeah. This is not the feelings show. I deal with, right? I deal with, I made a video today. And I know some people can relate to it. Because I am, everybody has a friend group and they have certain friends in the friend group. I have never been, will never be the illogical, no feelings of valid friend. I will tell you your feelings are valid, but I also will point out the illogical nature of your facts. So don't come looking for sympathy when you done something fucked up. Not all of a sudden, I will protect you, but I also will protect you by telling you that was a stupid thing you did, and if you wouldn't have did it, I probably wouldn't be here almost on my way. So remember that. I'm not. I'm not. It pains me sometimes when people think I'm that. I'm not. I have completely mastered my own emotions, and they never supersede logic. Thank you, because I'm going to hell. Yeah, greetings, salutations. But we got some interesting things to get to tonight, right? And rain comes in. Rain comes in. I I'm going to. She asked me about the rest of the documentary we were watching, and we will get to that. We will get to the rest of the documentary we were watching. It's just so much comes up. All right. So I wanna. I have something I want to share from the story because I need a good laugh. And I saw this, and people were like, "What is my response to it?" And I was like, "I really don't have a response to it. I will share it." But while I'm getting this ready, today Charlie Kirk was awarded post because he did. He was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Yeah, his dead ass got the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Today's his birthday also, October 14th, also the birthday of George Floyd. But yeah, medal. So, but I wanted to show you all this, and I just wanted to show you this because I've been laughing at it all day, and I'm also going to get to what I think about the ceasefire and all that also. Let's get into this. What's up, Cam?
I'm just.
Yeah, I know you're late.
This is like a public service question, I guess. Do you Negroes feel bad that you are very reactionary, no self-restraint, no regard for other human life, pretty dumb, probably 10 points lower IQ than white people, plus you have that sub-Saharan gene, which makes you a jungle bunny and an animal. So that's why you're having a hard time getting by in society. If you just looked at your own behavior, maybe you could help fix it. I don't know. I don't think you just want to. I think you just like living like that. Animals. But whatever.
Someone sent me this video, right? And what I was thinking was so funny, right? As I'm watching all the people respond to him, and it is just hilarious. Their responses in some way are even more hilarious than his video. Especially, and I'm talking about, yeah, some liberal white people responding to him, and they like, it is hilarious to watch, right? Who's Uncle Fester? See, listen, and I'm watching people respond to him. I'm like, just put an address out there. I we'll take it from there. Just put an address out there. Cause it's like when you ever seen somebody try to respond to something that somebody said that was hilarious, and when I respond, I just cuss them out. Talk about their family tree. But it's watching them respond, trying to address the thing. First thing out the mouth, he wasn't even talking. I don't know who he was talking to. My video, and I made a video addressing him, and all I said was, "What do y'all want from the store? I'm about to go to the store." And TikTok act like I said all that. I literally said the video. I played the video, and then I sat there, and I think I was eating a popsicle. Oh yeah, I was eating a popsicle. And then when he finished, I was like, "Okay, anybody want anything from the store? I'm going to the store right now. Anybody want anything?" And of course, his video's still up. Mine gets taken down. I might as well cuss him out. I might as well cuss him out. Well, I just want to share that. That's the opening for today. That was the opening video, and I just wanted to share a good laugh with y'all because I just look at him, right? I look at him and I said, you can only say that from the safety of your own home. See, that's what I don't think people realize. They can say this for the safety of their own home. You can't melt him down and put him outside to say that, right? So let's get into it. First, what should I start? I'm gonna build up to my views on this. I hesitate to call it a ceasefire, and I'll get into why in just a moment. We're gonna build up to that. We're gonna start with your president today and what he said, and then I'm gonna talk about why he said it. Well, let's look at what he said today and see if you all can guess why.
Your ABC fake news. Brian, please.
First of all,
I don't
congratulations.
take questions from ABC fake news. After what you did with Stephanopoulos to the Vice President of the United States, I don't take questions from ABC fake news. Brian, go ahead.
Yes.
So, listen, what is the president of the United States upset about that happened on ABC News this weekend? Well, George Stephanopoulos showed white people exactly how to deal with the vice president of the United States, right? And I'm gonna play this, and I want you to see it. It is so funny. You have to listen to the exchange, and then you have to see that George is not playing, right? And I'm watching this. I like watching This Week with George Stephanopoulos.
The White House border czar Tom
Listen.
Homan was recorded on an FBI surveillance tape in September 2024, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money or give it back?
George, you've covered the story ad nauseum. Tom Homan did not take a bribe. It's a ridiculous smear. And the reason you guys are going after Tom Homan so aggressively is because he's doing the job of enforcing the law. I think it's really preposterous. I know Tom. I think that he's a good man. He gets death threats. He gets attacked. He gets constantly threatened by people because he has the audacity to want to enforce the country's immigration laws. I think that it would be a much more interesting story about why is it that Tom Homan, who is simply enforcing Americans' immigration laws, is getting constantly harassed and threatened to the point of death threats. That's a much more interesting question that I think journalists should focus on. We can agree to disagree on that question.
Well, wait, you said he didn't take a bribe, but I'm not sure you answered the question. Are you saying that he did not accept the $50,000?
George, this story has been covered ad nauseum. He did not take a bribe. Did he accept $50,000? I'm sure that in the course of Tom Homan's life, he has been paid more than $50,000 for services. The question is, did he do something illegal? And there's absolutely no evidence that Tom Homan has ever taken a bribe or done anything illegal, which is why he's working in the administration.
I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000 that was caught on the surveillance tape? Did he accept that $50,000 or not?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what?
He was recorded on an audio tape in September 2024, an FBI surveillance tape, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money?
Accepting $50,000 for doing what, George? I'm not even sure I understand the question. Is it a crime? Even the far left media like yourself. So I'm actually not sure what the precise question is. Did he accept $50,000? Honestly, George, I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know is that he didn't violate a crime.
So you don't, what was caught on the tape, you're saying right now you don't know whether or not he kept that money?
George is not letting go.
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the
Listen, I
government.
don't care if
You
you're
are
vice
focused
president.
on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
Wait for it.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No,
Illinois
George,
Governor
I
J.B.
said that I
Pritzker
did.
is up next. We'll be right back.
Oh, it just took me out. Listen, and if you watch, I watched this this week Sunday, and if you watch, you'll understand. This interview was supposed to go on for some more time, right? Georgia had enough. He said, "You won't answer my first question. You get out of here." You know, on those other news programs, the president started talking, and they'll like let him cut him off. George is like, "I'm through with him, but y'all get him out of here." That's how you do it. Would y'all like to see me interview politicians? You all think that would be a good idea? All right, there's 50, 60 of you all in here. Before we go further, there's the donation app over there for our funding of those who have to be homeless. We're still raising money for the last payment on Jamie's cremation. We got coat drive, we got, meals for those who have to be homeless coming up. We need money. Help us out. You can hit the Cash App up there. If you don't have Cash App, you have Venmo or PayPal. They're basically the same, I think, but they're in my Beacon link. So yeah, all donations help. Now, we'll be coming back to that because we're always helping those who happen to be homeless. And I don't have a bus. We're not raising money for a bus. But if I need to tell you we're raising money for a bus, I will. I will. Just let me know. But and you can see the work we do because we post the work we do, and you know none of us are driving buses. All right, let me tell you, right? Watching George finesse him as he did, it was priceless. George was like, "Listen, this, this is not you're not the interviewer." And I knew George was going to get him when I heard him tell George how to conduct an interview. George Stephanopoulos is an amazing interviewer, right, when it comes to political figures. But even this team test his patience, right? He was like, "Bye, bye." Has- Hashtag emotional damage. And you see the look on JD. JD couldn't believe that he had been cut off. I wish more media would. I wish they would too. I wish they would too, Chris. I really wish they would too. Because also today Donald Trump was talking about Boston and the World Cup. Now the World Cup has been scheduled to be in Boston for the last 4 years. Some of the games in Boston, it's before him. And listen what he said. This is how you know we're in an autocracy. Donald Trump thinks he controls everything. Because listen what he said about Boston today in the World Cup.
I can understand.
Mr. President, Boston had some street takeovers that we saw. Are you going to work with or try and work with the mayor of Boston? And then they have a World Cup. They have several World Cup games. I know Argentina knows about World Cups. They have several World Cup games. Could those games move to cities that do work with you?
We could take them away. I love the people of Boston. I know the games are sold out. But your mayor is not good. There are worse than her. At least she's intelligent. You know, some are extremely low IQ. Those bother me more. She's intelligent, but she's radical left. And they're taking over parts of Boston. That's a pretty big statement, right? We could get them back in about 2 seconds. All she has to do is call us. We'll go in and take them back. But she's afraid to because she thinks it's bad politically. She could take them back, too. The Boston police are great. I mean, I know them. They love me. She'll never tell them to go after Trump because they love me and I love them. And I got a tremendous police vote and military vote, you know, and fireman vote, all of them. No, I think she is hurting Boston. The answer is yes. If somebody is doing a bad job, and if I feel there's unsafe conditions, I would call Johnny, the head of FIFA, who's phenomenal, and I would say, let's move it to another location. And he would do that. Wouldn't love to do it, but he'd do it very easily. He'd do it, and this is the right time to do it. If I thought Boston was doing something that was going to cause safety conditions for the World Cup, I could say the same thing for the Olympics, because we have events that are in different locations for the Olympics. It's based in LA. If I thought LA was not going to be prepared properly, I would move it to another location if I
Listen,
had to.
anybody make it make sense. Make it make sense, right? Yeah, what you're deadly right. George Stephanopoulos says, I didn't pay you $16 million. ABC paid you $16 million because they stupid. They paid you that money. They should have took you to court. But they want to be stupid, they can fire me. And that's what it was. And that still be nothing compared to politicians. If I ask somebody a direct question and they try to lead me, number one, you're not going to get to lead me around for 5 minutes. I'm gonna stop you and say, what the hell does that have to do with the question I asked? Are you gonna answer the question I asked or not? That's all I need to know. Either yes or no to you answering the question. That's why I can't be a politician. But this is what Donald Trump. This is what I tell you. And we're gonna segue. We're almost there. I got one more thing to talk about. Pete Hegseth and Wounded Knee, and we're gonna talk about that. Then we're gonna segue into what I think about this ceasefire, and then we're going to play. Um, when rain comes in, we're gonna play the rest of the documentary on 60. Um, potatoes, you did you call it potato? Use $20 million for text reminder by. Yeah, I'll talk. That's on the list. I want y'all to stay with me on the subject. Yes, we can get to that later. But anyway, um, you get to the fact that this is what he said. And he's also threatening Los Angeles in there too by saying he will interfere in the Olympics. Another event that's been planned for years for LA that he's talking about. He's gonna call somebody and get him. Listen, the idea that this man has people believing, but you also have people compromising him with him. That makes it bigger for people to believe certain other things he says, because that's who he is. That's who he is, and that's what he's about, right? Now, how many of y'all know what happened in Wounded Knee, South Dakota in 1819? How many of y'all know what happened on December 29th, 1819 in South Dakota at a place called Wounded Knee? Right, Cam? Let's and don't General Austin did not elect to do this, but Pete Hegseth has the following to say about that thing. And this is what's going to happen.
Under the previous administration, a review panel was convened to determine whether soldiers awarded the Medal of Honor for their actions at the Battle of Wounded Knee should keep their medals. Now, upon deliberation, that panel concluded that these brave soldiers should, in fact, rightfully keep their medals from actions in 1890. The report was concluded in October of 2024. Yet, despite this clear recommendation, former Secretary Lloyd Austin, for whatever reason, I think we know, he was more interested in being politically correct than historically correct, chose not to make a final decision. Such careless inaction has allowed for their distinguished recognition to remain in limbo until now. Under my direction, we're making it clear without hesitation that the soldiers who fought in the Battle of Wounded Knee in 1890 will keep their medals. And we're making it clear that they deserve those medals. This decision is now final, and their place in our nation's history is no longer up for debate. We salute their memory, we honor their service, and we will never forget what they did.
Y'all got that right. You all got all that. You all got all that. This is this is what Pete Hegseth said. Right? And I could go over it all again,
So
but
a few
hell,
weeks ago, I made a
let's just
video
get to the chase.
addressing something that the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, said. And of course, TikTok didn't like it.
TikTok didn't
And
like my.
they gave me a strike and took the video down. Well, fuck that. I'm going to make this video, and it's probably going to be in the same vein, but maybe if I do a little longer opening, TikTok's algorithm and its AI won't notice. Now, Let's get to it. What does it look like when you're on industrial strength crack and you chase that with brown liquor? Something Pete Hegseth is used to. This is what it looks like.
The Now, I'm going to
previous
see the
administration,
book
a
I'm
review
looking at.
panel was convened to determine.
I'm not going to make y'all listen to Pete Hegseth all again, right? I'm not going to make you listen to him because he's on industrial strength crack. I'm just going to skip to the second because Pete Hegseth's on industrial strength.
And that's what it looks like and sounds like when you're on industrial strength crack and you're chasing it with brown liquor. Something I said Pete Hegseth is used to, because there's no other way that you don't call it a massacre. That's what it was. It was no battle at Wounded Knee on December 29th, 1890, because the United States Army engaged in a massacre of almost 300 unarmed Lakota indigenous people. And wait for it, and most of them were that super extreme dangerous majority of women and children. The slaughter is called a battle in U.S. military annals. Congressional Medals of Honor were bestowed on 20 of the soldiers involved. A monument was built at Fort Riley, Kansas, to honor the soldiers killed by friendly fire. Yeah, the soldiers that were killed at Wounded Knee were not killed by the Lakota indigenous population that was starving. They were killed by their own soldiers. So, yeah, battle? No, not a battle, a massacre. And you all are awarding awards to those who killed their own people. Yeah, let that sink in.
Now, like I say, if you know history, you studied history, that's why I don't call what is happening and unfolding in Gaza a war, what's unfolding in the Sudan a war, what's unfolding in the Congo against civilian populations a war. I don't call any of them wars. There are no more wars than this was a battle. Every American U.S. cavalryman died wounded knee in 1890 died because of friendly fire. Let that sink in. They died because of friendly fire. The Lakota indigenous population had made up its mind on December the 15th to head to Pine Ridge to turn themselves in for reservational incarceration. That's where they were heading. The winter was harsh, and that's where they were heading when December 29th occurred, and they were slaughtered. And that is our history. That's what I was like when you listen to him. This is not the history. Of, this is his story. This is his story. It's just not his story. And you all have we have to remember. Can't wait to see how they rewrite the. No, I can't. I'm already listen, Cam. You might be joking, but I'm already working it up in my mind how they're going to rewrite it. As a matter of fact, I should do that tomorrow. I should talk about that tomorrow. Well, they drink the Kool-Aid. They drunk the Kool-Aid. It's a Kool-Aid that they have been drinking. This is the history. These are some of the people. And listen, this doesn't surprise me about Pete Hegseth because, like I said, I watched Pete Hegseth on Fox News. I know some of you all can't bear witness to everything. I watch all of them. I have watched. I either watch them or I go back and watch some of the things they said, and I can equate them with what they're going to say next. This is not. Did you know, black people? Did you know the new Air Force rate, the new military regulations that you can't wear waves? Did you all know that? I know y'all can't. We can't wear waves anymore in the military because of him. And they try to say this is not targeted towards black people. Waves? You can't wear waves, braids, cornrows. We have a whole Crown Act that doesn't apply to the military. Just let that sink in. And it's under the radar. It's like people, it's under the radar. People don't realize that. But yeah, you can't wear waves in the military. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. So now let's get into how I feel uh, about what's happening in Gaza. I have intentionally avoided this because I wanted to see something, and it took about as long as I thought to take. Uh, didn't take long at all, in other words. It took about as long as I thought it would take. Let me put that down. And this is what I was waiting on. Let me move my Cash App. Nobody's using it right now anyway. So let me move this so we can see everything I want to show you. Didn't take long, did it? Did not take long. Israel military forces kill at least 5 Palestinians despite ceasefire agreement. That's today. That's not before. That's not also, and into account, they killed 9 while the ceasefire agreement was supposed to be being worked out. Yeah, they killed 9 while it was supposed to be worked out. So now we have 5 Palestinians dead, in accordance with this so-called ceasefire. Now that's what I was waiting for before, because you all understand that of all the ceasefires that have been in place since the beginning of Israel's existence between them and Gaza, Israel has violated every one of them. Being a black man, when I get faded, I will have waves. Don't be offended. I'm not offended. I was just look. If you're in the military, take it over Pete Hegseth.
So, it's time. So, it's time. So, it's time. Let's talk about it. A lot of y'all have been asking me, what do I think about the ceasefire deal that they are calling a peace deal in connection with the massacre that Israel is partaking in Gaza. And they're saying like, okay, this is it, TNathan, right? This is a good thing, right? And I've waited because I wanted to see something. Now I've read over all 20 points of this peace plan that was put forth by this administration. And I've looked at the ceasefire deal that people are trying to equate with peace in the region. And I doubt it accomplishes both of those or either of those in any significant long term ideology. And let me tell you why. First, there's this Gaza ceasefire tested as Israeli forces kill 5 Palestinians already. And this is with the ceasefire in place. This is with the handing over of hostages. This is today that Israel has already killed 5 Palestinians, and there's supposed to be a ceasefire in order. And there are these words that Donald Trump uttered today that also give me pause.
We're going to disarm, and because they said they were going to disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them.
How will you do that?
I don't have to explain that to you. But if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games. Okay? Now, we did something monumental. We got the hostages back. That was the first thing we had to do, above all else.
Just a quick reminder, that is the exact philosophy taken by Israel over 2 years ago when they started this massacre of Palestinians. They were just going to disarm a certain group, a group that they had to massacre thousands to get to. Yeah. Well, there you have it. You all have the day you deserve, and may the ancestors judge you accordingly.
So there it is. So y'all can stop asking me about it. Y'all can stop asking me about it. That's what I believe. I no long I don't believe in the long term. I don't believe in the longevity of this ceasefire than any of the others that went into effect. 2012, 2014, 2016, 2018, 2021. Yeah, none of them held. None of them held because when Israel gets in the mood, it's just going to start indiscriminately bombing Gaza. I wouldn't be surprised if part of this plan that they have for Gaza involving everybody in Gaza moving to the West Bank and Israel and Donald Trump redeveloping um, Gaza Strip. I wouldn't be surprised. It would not surprise me at all if they displaced all of the Palestinians in Gaza onto the West Bank. And then, because Donald Trump said, we're going to build something that works for everyone. It's not a, it's, I would, I don't know. I understand. I think I understand what you mean, Steve, but it's not a joke for me because children are going to die. I know what you mean. I know you don't mean it that way, but it's the idea that it's intentional. It's so intentional that this is not. The only difference is that the Middle Eastern countries, like Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt, the countries that are siding with this, are just more greedy than they used to be. Or is it greedy? More doesn't need greedy. I know, superlative error. I apologize, but they're greedier than they used to be. They are definitely invested in being able to have access to the presidency and the United States' power. And at the end of the, I'm glad you're here, Rain. I'm trying to get to the rest of of the rest of the documentary. But I get bogged down because there's also one more thing I have to say because Donald Trump kills me on not knowing how the government works. But that's it. Oh, you've been here, so you heard me talking about you, huh? Yeah, I said I was gonna play it. But that's this is it. This is why I make it a point to listen to everything before I respond because, like I say, most people are interested in being first. I'm not. I'm interested in being correct. I'm interested in being. I'm interested in getting to uh, the truth of the matter. That's why I don't have to print retraction videos. But I don't believe in this ceasefire. See, you see, right? They have shown that they're willing to work together now because the Saudi Arabian government is one of the most corrupt governments on the planet. Saudi Arabia is one of the most corrupt governments on the planet. The Middle Eastern countries like UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt are some of the most repressive countries when it comes to the rights of women. They are everything that Donald Trump is okay with. Free restriction on the press, all that. He's okay with that, while also talking about Iran. Yeah, make it make sense. Make it make sense. And before I get to how much time I got, oh, Rain. Sorry. Um, before I get to before I get to we're gonna play the rest of it, Rain, regardless if we go over. We're gonna get to it. But before I get to that, I want to talk about how the government doesn't work. I got 20 minutes. Okay, let's talk about how the government doesn't work.
Shutdown. You have the money to pay the troops on
I
October
do.
15th. Okay. How
I
is
actually have a man who is a very wealthy person. You'll know that when I tell you this. Who called a donor, a great gentleman, and he said, if there's any money necessary, shortfall, for the paying of the troops, then I will pay it, meaning he will pay it. How about that? I said, look, we're not going to need it. We're going to take care of our troops. But this was a position that's being forced upon us by Democrats. And all they have to do is just.
Right? Does that sound like that's such a standard? That's such a standard line. I know a guy. I know a guy who's willing to take care of this. And I heard that, and I was like, and how does that work exactly? What does that look like? That's like when Steve Bannon was collecting money to build a wall, and people were donating them. I was like, y'all don't realize that's a scam because the United States government doesn't take donations except you do it in taxes to fund its government. What y'all plan to do? Just go out and write a check to the difference? Make it make sense. The Timu version of The Sopranos. I'm thinking more of the Timu version of Goodfellas. Yeah, it's just like corruption of our troops. No, no, never that. I don't know. I'm not. No, it looks like the corruption of this government, the troops or the troops. I don't have anything bad to say about the troops, especially when I watched my father attacked coming back from Vietnam for following the orders of this government. Um, it's not the corruption of the troops. It's the way he's making it sound like he's doing a favor by talking to one of his friends. And then I thought about it. I was like, there are only so many. Look, I could narrow this list down, but hopefully all the other people that are on the list know that's not how government works. But it's not enough to just be wealthy to take care of the 2 million, 2 million servicemen's checks for this month. I'm sorry. I just thought that was so funny. That was hilarious to me. That was hilarious. So, all right. Let's get it. Let's get it. Because, oh, how much time I got? I got 19 minutes. How much time I got? It looks like, all right. All right. YouTube, if you would like to watch the rest of this, you have to come over to TikTok. It's not going to be here. It's going to be on TikTok because copyright. All right. Peace out, YouTube.